Hey, how are you? My name is Feld. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. Today we're playing Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Not gonna lie, this is just a giant amalgamation of value cards. I was considering how to go about piloting this deck, and I realized for the most part, you just kind of want value. You could play them with like some crazy Gitrog monster combos where you do all sorts of crazy things, and then like Conduit of Worlds to be able to play stuff from the graveyard, and Rise of the Dark Realms to bring it all back. We have those in here. We also have just some classic good white cards like Elish Norn Grand Cenobite, Elish Norn Mother of Machines, and Elish Norn. I wonder why I have so many Praetors in here. We do have a payoff if I can find it. It's a new card, so I never know its mana cost. It's Realm Breaker, the Invasion Tree. For 10 and a tap, you can sacrifice it and search your library for any number of Praetor cards. Let's just... Oh, would you look at that? 3 Elish Norns, 2 Vorinclexes, and a Shieldred the Whispering one. I was considering putting the other Vorinclex in, but we don't really use +1 counters outside of a couple of Planeswalkers, so I didn't really feel like it was necessary. And I don't own the newest Shieldred yet because I'm unlucky with pack openings. And the other Shieldred, I feel like shouldn't really fit in. We do draw a lot of cards, but our 4-drop slot is already taken up by a lot of really powerful things, namely our Commander and like Conduit of Worlds, Binding of the Old Gods, Archangel Elspeth to make you a bunch of sack fodder. We have a lot of really powerful 4-drops in this deck already. I felt like I was just going to be crowding that slot even more if I put in the other Shieldreds. That's something you do have to keep in mind. There are so many powerful 1s and 2-drops in this deck, but a lot of your bigger win counts are going to be in the 4, 5, 6 range. You do have tons of mana ramp, mostly through playing extra creatures that have some form of mana ramp, like Lotus Cobra, Paradise Druid, Elvish Mystic, Avacyn's Pilgrim, but your deck is super expensive, at least mine is. Most of the time, if you're playing, more casual Thalia, it'll be super expensive. More focused Thalias will probably be playing more along the lines of a stacks deck with lots of removal, and then probably use Gitrog Recursion for crazy win cons in some way, shape, and form. Overall, though, I've played with this deck a little bit. The deck's pretty fun. It's nothing too crazy powerful, but I've just been enjoying it. It's been a little bit more casual, turbo out some big stuff style decking. So I do lose quite a few games with it. I don't claim this deck to be perfect. It was something I made for fun, just to kind of, go to town, big old Thalia, beat down some people. We do have really big win cons, though, in case you want to know some of the more powerful cards that we play in order to pull out wins. Scute Swarm, if we can get it out and protect it, Scute Swarm will grow so fast because you can play extra lands per turn with Thalia, or just the Gitrog monster. We do have Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, in order to force our opponent to not have any lands going on whatsoever, because they'll all be tapped down. And then we have Elish Norn and the flip side of Elish Norn, allowing us to basically control the game through this saga. It's a pretty fun deck. It's pretty powerful. I won't call it S tier, but it's probably like a solid B plus to A. I've run into some decks where I just kind of crush them under my foot because of being able to just play Thalia super early, meaning that all my opponent's stuff is entering tapped. I actually played into a Brutaclad game a little bit ago before I started recording, where they tried to flip a bunch of tokens to be able to swing at me, and I had Thalia on board already, so like 2/3 of the tokens entered tapped. I had Elish Norn on board, so that all their stuff was really wimpy, and we had a very large pile of Scute Swarms on board because I got to play it on curve. Spoiler alert, if you're allowed to do stuff like that without your opponent interacting with you, you'll probably crush them. That's the type of stuff that we win with. I could have probably put a Craterhoof Behemoth as a win through combat condition in here, but we'll probably just end up finding ways to slowly drain our opponent of life. Either way, hope you enjoyed the deck list, hope you enjoy the gameplay, and let's hop right into it. Wonderfully enough, we are going first playing into Venser Corpse Puppet, a toxic, proliferating pile of nonsense. Why do I call it a pile of nonsense? Because I don't like it. Not because it's bad or anything, I just don't like it. It's a very powerful commander. You'll typically end up having some rough times against it. So I'm very happy that we have a turn 1 Esper Sentinel and possibly a turn 2 Kenworth's Transformation. Depending on what they play, we'll determine whether or not we want to bother to play the Transformation. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel always makes people stop and think, because they don't want to stop their ramp plan, they don't want to stop their removal plan, they don't want to stop any plans, but Esper Sentinel does give me free card draw if they try and go for anything. We'll play this tapped, just so we'll have a pain-free land on turn 3. And we'll hang back and VoIP! Well, hang back and VoIP. I apologize if this sound makes it into the video. I'm moving my microphone a little bit. Venser. We're just gonna transform him. It technically gets to be slightly better, but it does mean that now I don't have to worry about any of the toxic or proliferation nonsense that, Venser does. Which is really the scariest part about him. Is that he plays tons of these wild, crazy proliferation, poison-y cards, and makes a bunch of stuff for free along the way. Do I think my opponent is holding up counterspells or removal? Maybe. Oh, it's just Kaido. I get to draw a card, though. Okay, go for the threat's pretty okay. Kaido will phase out.
You'll never see me coming. Now.
We have two options here. I think, technically speaking, this is probably my better play. It just starts gaining me tons of treasure. Meaning that I can have Deadly Dispute and Go for the Throat ready to go. If I so choose. I think my opponent is trying to figure out ways to get their Venser dead without having to kill it themselves. That guy's really not that scary, but it does confirm my idea that they are just a... Oh, we are going to go ahead and kill it now, because it is now in the way of our plans. And they cannot replay it this turn, making it much harder for them to just, you know, play the game at the moment. Hopefully we draw a land. If not, we are in big trouble. This is only red and green, unfortunately. We did not draw a land. We're going to go for the really cheeky play here. I wonder if my opponent has a wash away, and that's why they decided to hold open mana like this. Or maybe it's a fatal push? We're going to sack this, make 2 treasure tokens, and draw 2 cards. They could have a wash away, they could have a spell pierce, they could have any number of things. I don't really know what my opponent has in their hand. Roiling Regrowth is actually wonderful here. They do enter tapped, but they give us Tireless Provisioner. We will drop the Brushland here, and then I think we will go get a black and a green. Do we need double white for anything? Not right now. We'll go get 2 things. We'll make our Tireless Provisioner have more stuff, and then we will blow up their Kaido Shizuki with Fracture. I get a free land. I'm amazed that they waited this long to do that, honestly, because I feel like they've been sitting on that for like 12 years. What do I know? Yeah, let's blow up their Kaido Shizuki. Gives them no more value. We are good. And our Tireless Provisioner will just hang out. They probably just want to replay their commander so they can start playing their proliferation game plan. Do I wish that I don't have to trade my Provisioner here? Yes. Do I probably have to anyways? Also yes. I can't really let them get away with getting any toxic on me. Because a commander that says proliferate on it, you know when they made the deck, they literally did, quote, proliferate, unquote. So we have to do stuff like this. We don't really have a choice. They do get a little 1/1. I am astounded that they didn't just, like, slam their commander. Honestly. Thirst for Discovery. Huh. Still surprised they didn't land their commander. Rona. Card I basically do not care about. And Zulaport Cutthroat. We are now making them think about, oh crap, I probably need to kill Thalia. We have enough mana to replay Thalia immediately. Does this allow me to play off the top of my library? I can play lands off the top of my library, which is wunderbar. Wunderbar. I don't know why my opponent isn't just like replaying their commander. I feel like that's just like a wonderful choice for them right now, right? I know they probably want to kill Thalia and the Gitrog monster, but I mean, they're going to cause problems for you no matter what, opponent. I can immediately replay them. I have the open mana. They're staring at my library, or not my library, sorry, that's my graveyard. I looked down, saw my library with my beautiful Brawl and Charizard sleeves. And I was like, they're looking at my library. No, they're looking at your graveyard, idiot. Ah, someone didn't read all of the text. Listen, it's a lot of text, I know, but it's creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control into the battlefield tapped. Meaning that if they probably shouldn't have gotten rid of that basic land on the previous turn. Okay, it's still tapped, opponent. And it's not making anything. Oh, nope, they're just gone. Oh, man. They were unhappy. Oh, my goodness. I was just going to swords their thing and then play Oracle and pray to get some lands off the top. I could have also played Sword of Forge and Frontier, which would have exiled the top of my stuff, and I could have played like 1 billion lands per turn, but I think Oracle would have been more consistent in this exact instance, but who knows. I was just going to swords the Thinking Hive Master just to get the poison and nonsense out of the way. I was probably going to sack like the white source that I tapped for it, but they surrendered or conceded, I guess. Doesn't matter. I won. Woo! GG's, opponent. We are playing into Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, with a, believe it or not, pretty keepable hand. The only thing that makes me not want to keep it is that I don't have green mana for Terra Sunder. So I feel like I have to dump it. If I had green mana for Terra Sunder, I'd be... Ah, yes, a one-lander. Hand-smoothing algorithm working as intended. Wink. But yeah, they have a lot of canceling of my ETB effects, so I probably just want to find something a little more consistent like this. I won't have double green for a hot minute, so I want to dump that. I want to be able to play Hero. It's mana ramp no matter what you do. Selfless Savior on turn 1. On the plus side, we did draw something that can be very useful with Llanowar Elves. Why do I call it very useful? Getting a 1-drop that can be played off of your Arcane Signet is always great. I'm assuming, yeah, they're just playing a Protect the Elish Norn game plan. Fortunately for me, I don't know how much I have to care about the Elish Norn, you know? Because Thalia and the Gitrog monster is a first strike death toucher, so unless they kill her with swords or exile her or do a board wipe, she just kind of lives. Bleed Spellbinder, there is one correct choice in my hand right now, and that is Harrow. Plain and simple, there is one correct choice of cards that you take away from my hand right now, and that is Harrow. That is not the correct choice, opponent. The correct choice is the mana ramp card. Oh, you want to trade? I'm fine with that. You already... No, you already committed. You can't take that back anymore. Oh, no, this is a wonderful trade for me. You're getting rid of your protection spell? I don't think they thought that one through. I do not think they thought that one through. But yeah, we'll play Harrow. We'll get a green and a black source, most likely. We could just play Wedding Announcement. We could just play Thalia and the Gitrog and try and get something out of them. Let's just go for it. Thalia and the Gitrog monster is pretty good. We could be getting any number of cards out of them. A lot of their stuff will now be entering tapped. Like Lauren. They can blow up my Arcane Signet, but that's not really a huge deal. I'll play tons of stuff from the graveyard. I don't really think people know how Thalia and the Gitrog monster works. Every single time I play it, my opponent has their creatures enter tapped, and they look like, what do you mean tapped? Why is my creature tapped? This doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I just kind of want to play the Wedding Announcement. Unfortunately, we can't really attack yet because we didn't get an extra land. We could have sacked a land to draw it into a land, but eh. Cathar's Crusade. Ah, they're boring. Why am I calling them boring? Cathar's Crusade is probably one of the most Oh, thanks for the card, buddy. I appreciate that. It's probably one of the most boring cards in the format. It's literally a, unless you have enchantment removal, this thing will kill you. .png. We'll go ahead and play Elish Norn. We'll swing with both. We will sack the little token, though. But we swing with both to get the Wedding Announcement to proc properly. Unfortunately, that is an in-step thing, so this... I can't really play it anyways. Hopefully we get an untapped land. If we get an untapped land, Vorinclex can grab us 2 of our tapped lands, and then we can play one of them, and it all will be well. Vorinclex has Hidden Reach. I was gonna say, are you gonna, like, trigger your things? I guess they just really want to blow up my Wedding Announcement. You're about to witness why Cathar's Crusade is the most boring card in the format. Come on, you can do it, opponent. You got this, buddy. It's literally click yes. Yeah, they played one card and all of their creatures are now like 5+ toughness. It's the most boring card in the format, and I mean that legitimately. I mean that in like the most serious, like undeterred way possible. Is the most boring card in the format. Vanishing Verse. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for saving me a lifetime of trouble. Let's go ahead and play this now. I still am really hoping that Elish Norn doesn't get played. I have a feeling that says they'll play her pretty soon. Yeah. This is one of those I saw it coming moments. I just kind of want Vorinclux's ETB to go off properly. Nothing they have can swing, by the way, other than Spellbinder. Spellbinder is the only thing they have that can swing at me. They have a combat trick, apparently. No, they don't have a combat trick. So they just threw away 2 of their cards for no reason, I guess? Opponent has to pay 2 here. Unless they want to lose life. Hopefully we draw a land, then we can play Ren in 7 minus and make a blocker for the Elite Spellbinder. Yay! We're getting pretty lucky.
The entire forest is an army.
We're actually going to give this guy protection, because if they draw like a specific removal spell, we want our thing that blocks their Elite Spellbinder to live. We're doing pretty good, though. We're in a pretty, like, happy, solid place. Thalia's an amazing blocker. Ranger Captain of Eos, not exactly that scary. They get 2 1-drops, but, like, I don't quite know what 1-drops Elish Norn runs that scare me. The only thing that really scares me is maybe that they can sacrifice it to lock me out. But, like, I don't know. It's one of those very, very strange interactions where I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so they get 2 free clue tokens off that guy. That's not bad for them. Go you. 2 free clue tokens. Do you even have another 1-drop opponent? I actually don't know if they will. 1-drops aren't as present in Arena as they are in actual physical paper Magic, in my experience. And if there are a bunch of 1-drops, most people don't actually play them. Bodyguard. That makes sense. Honestly, there's not really that many of them that I feel like you would play. Yeah, it's like Savior and Bodyguard, and then like you only got to choose one thing. 'Cause it's not really an ETB. It's weird like that. Either that or they just chose Elish Norn twice. Fun fact, I can block Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, with Elish Norn, and this Elish Norn does not die. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty interesting interaction. Alright, let's go get some lands. Hopefully we hit a bunch.
Power grows with
We hit 1 land and we lost 2 board wipes. That's quite distressing. 2, 4, 5. You're a 5-drop, right? Yeah, they can replay it, but let's kill the Dauntless Bodyguard, shall we? And now nothing happens. Anyways, do we want to hold up Harrow? I think we do want to hold up Harrow, and we'll chill. This also gives us enough mana to sacrifice Plaza of Heroes for Thalia. We don't really need to be attacking right now. My opponent has questions that need answering. I don't really need to answer what they're doing yet. Like, Elish Norn's a little scary, but I have solid ways of protecting my stuff. Gracia's welcome, pretty cool. I think that allows them to draw 2 cards because it's an ETB effect. I think? I'm not positive. This is 3 mana or less though, so that guy doesn't really do much for them yet. Non-basic enters tapped, as is tradition. Are they really going to try and save their Elish Norn? I hate to break it to you, this to you, buddy, but like I don't care. I'm not going to target it with anything. Let's go ahead and harrow. We will sack. We'll sack a basic swamp. They're tapped out, so they can't do anything outside of Ranger Captain of Eos. We sacked a swamp, so we'll get a swamp back, and then I guess we'll grab a green. That sounds good. I don't know why they keep looking at my World Shaper. Let's go get some lands. I don't want Red and 7 to die. Ooh, nice. Bajuka Bog. I don't have to actually click on extra button for Bajuka Bog now. It's so nice, and I believe this can just be played now. Technically speaking, I could just be like, aha, I have ways to, I have ways to protect Thalia by holding up that, but you know what I'm going to do instead now? I'm going to make Thalia be protected the old-fashioned way, with Swiftfoot boots. Does it matter? No. We can eventually sack the World Shaper to get back our one land from the graveyard. I do wonder what my opponent's like actual plan is. That still only makes one token. Oh, that doesn't work the way that I thought it does. Never mind. I thought this was an ETB effect. It's not. It's an extra added effect. Unlike enchantment. Elish Norn has some weird interactions, and I don't know all of them yet. I've played her quite a few times, but I still don't entirely understand what she does. Honestly, we might just play Vorinclex here, even though we don't actually get double lands out of it. I don't know if my opponent's just frustrated or what. Or if they have a way to make their entire attacking force be indestructible, or they just have a board wipe. Guess we'll find out pretty soon, huh? I don't really know what my opponent's doing with this swing. I feel like they either like found a board wipe or something. But I have so much mana and, you know, back up and Ren and 7. But I'm not exactly concerned. Maybe they, I don't even know. I don't even know what effects in mono white they could have right now. I'm not gonna lie. I legitimately have no idea what they could be holding in hand here. Other than maybe a board wipe, right? Like that's all I can think of is that they're holding onto a board wipe. And they just want to get rid of my board state because it's pretty rough. But they also only have 3 open mana, so I'm very confused. I think they just got frustrated. I really think they just got frustrated and decided to full swing. Because they are now tapping out to pay for my Elish Norn, and they die on the way back. I don't quite know what that final play was other than pure frustration. I can kind of get it. Thalia does, like, tax them pretty heavily. None of their creatures enter in untapped. Elish Norn makes it hard for them to swing in. I had a 10-10. It was only going to keep growing. But I feel like they had a better chance than they were. They had a card draw engine there. They had... I think they had a much better chance than they thought. But either way, GG's opponent. On to the next. We're going first, going into Yarok the Desecrated. They are... What is it, ETB? ETB shenanigans, I believe, is what Yarok is, but we have double removal for said Yarok. We will go into the north, go get our white-green, I guess? So we have... Doesn't really matter. With Command Tower here, we now basically have access to all our colors that we could ever possibly need. And I think we'll play Thalia in the Gitrog on curve, as my opponent has 2 lands and a Lotus Cobra. And then we will play an Esper Sentinel and Profit. Profit because if they're trying to like ramp heavily into Yarok, they probably want to play like a spell that ramps them. And Esper Sentinel says, no, no, no. It's pretty funny. They can pay out for that. If we draw another land, we can just replay though, which is pretty funny. Did not draw another land. Big sad. And that's why Esper Sentinel is great though. I'm still getting access to more lands. Oh, they didn't get anything? Let's try and blow up the Lotus Cobra and see what happens. Nice! They whiffed a land drop. We cut out their way to get extra mana. We will eat their Lotus Cobra. And if they play another removal spell, I'm kind of fine with it. Did my opponent miss their next land drop? If so, I really feel for them. They did miss their land drop, and they have to allow me to draw a card. And that is Roiling Regrowth, not Harrow, so these lands enter tapped, so they're not really allowed to play anything off of this. Childred the Whispering One. We'll sack the Shambling Ghast, get a little bit of mana ramp rolling. We'll tap you for green, eating up their Roiling. Now we'll eat up the Soul Shatter in case they have a way to get it back. Play a Paradise Druid so we can just kind of keep on ramping. Having access to Despark and Hero's Downfall means that we can kill Yarok upon landing, or just most threatening cards that my opponent might play. It looks like they are still mana screwed though. So by God do I feel for you, opponent. I feel for you, I really do. Oh no! I guess we drop... What do we want to drop? This isn't like a graveyard recursion. I think we dropped the Despark because it's less flexible. Hero's Downfall hits Planeswalkers. This hits only things with mana value 4. You gonna pay for that? No. Spicy. What are they gonna play with that? Gonti! Gonti is dead. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to do that. We don't do that here. I mean, we do that here, but we don't do that here. They only have 4 mana. They don't have access to double white, so I can only assume that they will not really be able to play anything. So we're just going to do this. We could eat their Gonti. We're going to eat their Dark Ritual because we want to steal their Gonti. With Shieldred, which has Swamp Walk, which is pretty cool. I think we'll sack the Paradise Druid. They've outlived their usefulness. Bye-bye, Elderfang Disciple. We'll have access to Invasion of Fiora here in case we want to board wipe him out. Doubtful, but possible. And my opponent scoops it up because, you know, they got mana screwed. We got a Shieldred the Whispering One on board, and I killed their Gonti. I feel for them. It happens. But GG's anyways. You did try your best, opponent, and I respect that. On to the next. You go first. I shouldn't. I should not keep this hand. I shouldn't. There is no world in which I should keep this hand. But I really want to keep this hand. Looks like my opponent has a tapped land on 1. That bodes well for me. We'll play our tapped land here, because this gives us access to Despark without having to depend on Plaza of Heroes, which is wonderful. Interesting. Speaking of interesting, we have the Gitrog monster. We'll play Wedding Announcement. I could have taken this turn one of 2 ways. I could have played Scute Swarm and hoped for a land, but... my opponent is just playing all of the gain lands, huh? Oh, opponent, you're a boring player. Why do I say this? I find Poison Atraxa decks to be the most boring decks under the entire sun. We will play this like this so we can hold up Swords to Plowshares in case we need it. For now, we'll just chill. We now are basically never allowing Atraxa to land on the board. If Atraxa ever lands on the board, we are essentially dead in the water. We play Scrap Gorger. It was a 50-50 in where I could have gone with that. I think Scrap Gourgery is probably the right play. You're not allowed to play that. Oh, the Forge and Frontier. I'll exile that. And we'll play the sword. And we will hang back and chill, because we just want to kill Atraxa upon landing again, assuming my opponent hits their land drop. Which I'm guessing they will. They have a pretty full grip over there. I can't imagine that they don't hit something, right? Do you want to... I'll say you can't pay to, so I get a free card. I can exile that, but I don't think it's worth it. Yay, land! Give an extra Scooty Scoot now. We will equip Scrap Gourgery. It is a mana dork, but I want it to grow, so it's going to be attacking anyways. You can block with a Patchwork Crawler, but you don't have to. We will end our turn holding up Despark. I guess they just really want access to that. Yarok the Desecrated. Not exactly a scary card, I'm not going to lie. And you might think that this is like sarcasm, but I have Elish Norn in hand. It physically does not scare me. Let's kill this so that doesn't enter as a 4-4, shall we? It only enters as a 2-2 because of how I did that. Let's play this. Make a Scooty Scoot. Swing this guy. Eat your guy out of the graveyard. Swing. You cannot block with a green creature. I'm sorry, opponent. You're literally not allowed. Play those cards this turn. So math is hard, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 mana. So if I tap properly, I can. We'll do this. We can play Conduit of Worlds here, which is kind of useful. That part's really useful. And my opponent scoops it up because we got Conduit of Worlds out, I guess, and they didn't have a land. Yeah, I take back the boring comment, I guess, because there was one poison card, but like I think that they just didn't have a board wipe, they didn't have removal, and they saw the writing on the wall of this thing is going to be a 6/6 with pro green. I was going to make an army of stuff, and they were just going to have a bad time. GG's opponent. Our opponent goes first. We have a pretty good opening hand. We will be able to play our Mana Dork as early as turn 2, if all goes according to plan. Hopefully we actually just draw an untapped land, because then we can actually use Diabolic Intent to sack the Pilgrim to go hunt down something really cool, like a spell. No? Okay, that's fine. I really hoped we would have gotten an untapped land there off the top. Well, that is an untapped land. I'll play this. We'll have 4 mana, which means we can just slam Thalia and the Gitrog monster. It's a pretty good thing to slam on curve. Especially because we can use the Avacyn Pilgrim to play something and then sack the Pilgrim afterwards. So they want to, what, exile all non-land permanents? Okay. Don't get to do that, buddy. Didn't draw a land, but we'll take care of their board wipe. We'll force them to play something else. That was a really good draw off the top. Pretty happy about that. Do we draw a land? We do draw a land. We want double white, though. We're just going to kill Elish Norn. We're not going to swing because we don't have the Elspeth tokens to sack yet. Not even joking. When I made this deck, the only reason I included Elspeth is 1, I like the card. It can make stuff be flying angels. 2, it makes like an infinite pile of 1/1 creature tokens. Luminous Broodmoth. Egads. I'm going to kill it. I feel a little bad. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to play Elspeth, and she's going to make me infinite sack fodder.
This is our fight to win.
Okay, not literally infinite sack fodder, but she's going to make me a lot of fodder that can be just thrown away. Do we have any lands down there yet? Not yet. I was thinking we could, like, use World Shaper. Ichor Wellspring. I guess it's the classic, it has a double ETB effect, and they really want to find some stuff. Foreign Clax. That's 2 lands off the top. I think the holdup is their gate to the Citadel. And we just grab, like... Have we played into the north? I don't think we've played into the north yet, so we actually grab our non-snow land. Elspeth also has a good ultimate that synergizes really well with the rest of this, but it's mostly the whole, like... She is so loud. Sunfall. Now we have our own board wipe. That's very nice. I can play stuff out of the graveyard with her. Returning all non-land permanents with mana value 3 or less from graveyard to battlefield. It does work. It gets back stuff like Avacyn's Pilgrim when I sack it. It's overall a pretty good card. Destroy all non-land permanents. Alright, well we got that out of them. That's pretty nice. Alright, let's reboard. Reboard? Rebuild. Technically we are reboarding as well. Other reasons why I wasn't just playing out everything, there's a lot of these effects in Mono White. There is a lot of those effects in Mono White. So, I just kind of get on the lookout for them. I think we swing in with both to draw a card, but I'm not positive. Yeah, I think we're swinging in with both to draw a card and use Diabolic Intent. Bastion of Remembrance will be pretty nice. We will Diabolic Intent. What do I want to get out of this? They just destroyed all non-land permanents with that. They don't have any good creatures down. I guess they actually kind of do have good creatures down there. Do I want to Rise of the Dark Realm? I kind of want to Rise of the Dark Realms. They can't see what I got, so they don't know what I got. So if they just like board wipe me again without exiling everything, ooh baby, we get to Rise of the Dark Realms and bring it all back. They could Farewell me though. Farewell is a pretty powerful. Oh no, my mana dork? Oh no, your Solemn gets to come back and I don't know. I kind of want to just go for the Rise of the Dark Realms. I never get to play this card, you know? You ever have a card that you're just like, I don't get to... I don't think they realized. Alright, well, we're gonna kill their teleportation circle now, because that made me laugh. But that really made me laugh. I think we'll go ahead and swing, sacking a basic here to draw a card. Conduit of Worlds. My lovely. We'll go ahead and play it. I feel like we're probably walking headfirst into a Farewell. But that's okay. Sometimes you just need to headbutt a Farewell in order to really know what's important in life. The odds of them having a Farewell and an Hour of Revelation in their top 23, I believe that is bad, right? It's a White Sun's Twilight. That is Destroy, right? That is Destroy. You can stay down there. Math is hard. I don't think I can do both. But we can just Sunfall them. Thanks for the really big beater. Now, technically speaking, there is a really large chance this goes poorly for me. That doesn't really matter that much. Are they going to draw a card? We don't get any of the ETBs of any of this stuff, but we do get all of it back, which is cool. There is everything. You know, I'm feeling pretty okay about that. Getting back everything is kind of nice. I didn't get at the ETBs of Vorinclex or Solemn Simulacrum, but I'm feeling pretty okay about how things went there. You know? Let's go ahead and flip this 8-8, shall we? I think that these two things are their triggers that they have held up. It's actually a 9-9 because of winning announcement. I gotta remember that. We will sack their Solemn because I want to draw an extra card. I guess we get this. Can I go now? You're like, thank you, Jesus. You're like really killing the vibe here, man. Unfortunately, that does go back under its owner's control, but I literally don't care. What are they going to do with extra lands? Play more Settle the Wreckages? Spoiler alert, they're gone already. You're currently witnessing, like, in process, why I'm never really scared of Elish Norn decks. They're not that scary. Can we flip, we have, how many lands do we have down there? Not very many. We can flip Vorinclex. Let's go for it. Why not? We're just kind of vibing and having a good time, man. I got a Zulaport Cutthroat out of that. Oh, very cool. Oh well, can't win them all. I have a bunch of random cards here, opponent. Yep, you got me. There's a lot of lands that I shoved into my graveyard with that, though. Honestly, I kind of want to play World Shaper now. Okay. How many board wipes do you play, opponent? Because we have already seen 4. Like... Okay, sure. I think that puts the Luminous Broodmoth on the stack, yeah. It sure does. Which, and then I can sack Avacyn's Pilgrim and Luminous Broodmoth and Shambling Ghast again. And now I have 3 flyers, and you don't really have much of an anything opponent. Especially not a commander. You do get some life back for it, but psh, who cares? Let's play Splendid Reclamation, get all of those crazy old lands back. And play Thalia and the Gitrog monster. I don't know how many lands I have that are untapped, but I have some, I guess. I mean, they get to get some cards back, but... opponent. Even not considering, you know, half of what's going on over here, I really don't, like, quite get why you tried to mana tithe that when I had 2 treasure tokens. I guess they could, like, maybe get my Vorinclex back. Your Luminous Broodmoth comes in tapped, opponent. Thalia and the Gitrog monster has an effect like... It comes in tapped, opponent. Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Man, I don't... Maybe they're just in literally, oh god, I gotta play all my creatures mode. I can sack that for 3 life. That's pretty nice, I guess. Let's kill that, shall we? We will sack a land to draw a card. We could have swung with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. My baby! My scooty scoot! How many lands do we have down there now? We just have the 1, right? We just have the 1. Looks like my opponent's having some bad times over there. I do get to seek a non-land card. That could be their 5th board wipe, 6th board wipe. They've board wiped me a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's gotten a little old, opponent. We can protect our Gitrog with Plaza of Heroes, though. Speaking of Gitrog, oh, baby! The OG. We get to draw a bunch of lands off of this, which will be cool. Or draw a bunch of cards off of this, I guess. You have a Wandering Emperor over there, opponent? Spoiler, I'm going to be able to replay. Okay. Alright. You have to choose your targets. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix this up, shall we? I guess they didn't notice the plaza of heroes hanging out. I do have a lot of lands, but you know. I'll take the Pain land. Thanks for the draw, Gitrog. Thanks for the other draw, Thalia. Who is First Strike, Indestructible, Death Touch, and Hexproof right now, which is pretty cool. I guess they realize I can replay that, so I'm just gonna get to replay it. They did the wrong thing. Quite amusing. We'll make a skewty-scoot. We're at the point where if everything dies, I think we win due to Zulaport Cutthroat triggers, so we're just gonna mass swing in after this. I think we've hit that point. Because of, Zulaport Cutthroat is whenever another creature you control dies, your opponent loses 1 life. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If everything dies right now due to a board wipe that isn't an exile effect, we win. So they can't really board wipe me because of Zulaport. However, they can't really block everything and have everything die because of Zulaport. So, you know, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock is Zulaport, the hard place is Thalia. And the other hard place is the Gitrog monster. Still interstapped. And they scoop. And you are currently witnessing why I continue to say Elish Noin's not that great of a commander. They board wiped me with essentially a farewell, and then they hit a White Sun's Twilight, then they settled the wreckage, and they cleansing Nova'd me, so they got 4 solid board wipes off on me. I still just absolutely crushed them. In my humble opinion of 33-8. Now, this was probably a closer game than the life totals let on. They were doing a pretty good job of managing and handling my threats, but that was through a Cleansing Nova, a Settle the Wreckage, a White Sun's Twilight, and an Hour of Revelation. Which is a lot. The value train just keeps on giving, and it was going to be over with Gitrog Monster on board. I was going to be drawing so many cards, sacking so many lands, throwing so much stuff into the graveyard. It was going to be unreal. GG's opponent, you played well. Oh, we stomped you! Yeah, woo! Other hyperbolic things that make me feel better. Anyways, on to the next. We are going first. We are playing into Radictile Zealot, which is hexproof from white and black, and they get the draft Knights. It's a pretty annoying card, I'm not going to deny. One of the new alchemy cards, and I've made my stance very clear on this channel before. I do not like alchemy cards. I think they are pretty obnoxious. I think they're often power creeped versions of normal cards, and overall just really don't like them. I don't know if Terra Sunder hits him. I don't know how the ruling on something like Terra Sunder works, because it is a green card, but it has a black kicker. So is it a black card for the purposes of trying to exile Tal? Also, this hand is phenomenal. Being able to play Realmbreaker on turn 2. I was almost going to say turn 3, but that's not right. It's on turn 2. We can maybe start stealing lands from my opponent's graveyard. I do want to do this first, and then I'll probably use Bajuka Bog afterwards. We can also slowly ramp into, well, that's not nice. I don't know why they're playing Hand Hate. The best card for them to get probably is Invasion of Ikoria. It will basically guarantee me a cool card at some point here. Terra Sunder is removal. Invasion of Fiora is a board wipe. It's kind of up to them. There are 3 solid options. 3 incredibly solid options for them to steal. I don't know why they're taking so long, though. It's the Terra Sunder. Don't fault you. This is a tap 2, so we're going to use you and you, because it is tap 2 of any color. We will mill out our opponent a little bit. Any lands? Ooh, thank you. And, oh, those are nice things to exile. Yeah, let's exile those real quick. Then play Esper Sentinel. Meaning now, if they try and do stuff like that again, we draw cards! And we can play Invasion of Ikoria for X equals 3, getting any number of cool 3-drops in our deck. This is an incredibly powerful card. I will not be surprised if this sees play in tons of formats after people get a hang of it, so to speak. Silverquill Silencer. I wonder, assume that they're going to name my my commander. They could name Invasion of Ikoria, but yeah. Let's go ahead and mill him out a bit. Any lands? No lands. Yeah, I just don't want you to have that. I'm sorry. Goodbye. We could have milled ourselves out. We have lots of lands in the deck, but I want to mill my opponent out so I can see what they're playing and get rid of their cool cards. In a format like this, it kind of works out for the best, sometimes, to mill out your opponent's library with the Realm Breaker. Because they only have one-offs of everything. You know, it's a singleton format. I take away their Curse of Silence. I took away the Order of Midnight, right? This guy's a little annoying, but he's not the end of the world. They do get some free lands. Depending on what we draw here determines what we do. I think we will try and get something out of them. We will steal the black source. We'll play Thalia and Gitrog monster. They also have first strike. This does make this be a trade, though. Kind of unfortunate. Do we play Invasion of Fiora after this? I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 open mana. Not quite 7, actually, right? 7 open mana? Not quite enough for the thing. Ah, they're going to let me draw a card to kill my Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Interesting. I'm very surprised to see that. Especially because I can just replay it. Not gonna lie, if your opponent's ramping like this, killing their commander is not always like the greatest decision. We will not block. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can go for a 6-drop. Which is pretty cool if you ask me. We can search our library for a really cool 6-drop. Like, I don't know, Elish Norn or Gitrog Monster. Oracle of Moldiah. I think we want Vorinclex, though. Vorinclex has Hidden Reach. Why do I call it hidden? Because no one remembers. We'll go get our 2 tapped lands. We will vibe. There's no reason to not ever block the Triumphant Adventure. Vorinclex is just here to be a big old pain in the butt. You can maybe flip Invasion of Ikoria, make us a little 8/8 reacher. We can play Invasion of Fiora here soon if we just want to, like, go ham for no reason. I think we might honestly want to. Okay, that's a little annoying. Because now they can make their guy be indestructible, but you can't win them all, right? We could just say all non-creatures, actually. Or, sorry, all non-legendaries. That could be a pretty big brain move for Invasion of Fiora, to just name all non-legendaries, because that kills everything but Radic and Vorinclex. And Vorinclex kind of wins that 1v1 most days. I don't know why they're taking so long to decide to scry one. They have 1 black mana that is open. All the reasons I don't like those types of cards is that they spend forever to draft from this spell book. Which I can like 2 damage a turn, it's not a big deal. I think we will play this and kill all non-legendaries. Activated abilities. Meaning that this guy can't be activated anymore. Fun fact. And now... I don't have a chosen thing, but I do have the Coven where I can transform it, which is pretty funny. Let's go ahead and mill you out a little bit there, buddy. Thank you for the Snowland. I can almost do the thing that I want to do. Nine. We have 10 with Elvish Mystic. Unless they kill our Realm Breaker. So what is this? Attacks each combat if able. Thanks for the free card draw. Now? Ah, they're going to tap out. Fair. This must have been the thing they drafted, which is pretty cool. But I think we'll probably play Invasion of Realm Breaker here and go get, I don't know, maybe like all of our Praetors. I really dislike that these are on attack triggers. I can't really do anything about it. Can't really do anything about the attack triggers. I do think my opponent's in big trouble, though. I don't know if they realize how scary this is. I'm double checking my mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have exactly 10 mana, so we can go get all of our Praetors. Every single one of them simultaneously. Now, I could be playing right into a board wipe, but I delete most of their board when I delete most of their board that's giving me trouble when this happens. So we're just gonna like go for it. It's cool anyways. Because we just get to get all of the Praetors. Oh, gods above, that was satisfying. We're gonna flip our invasion here. They could block. I don't know why they'd wanna. Is my opponent gonna salty rope me after that? I wouldn't blame them. Oh my god, that's satisfying. Shield through the Whispering One can't be blocked at a Swamp Walk. If they tap their lands, they can't untap them. They don't have ETB effects, and all of their creatures get -2/-2, and my creatures get +2/+2. Now, could this go terribly wrong for me? Yes. Do I care? No, this was hilarious. They're very much out of resources already, based on what I'm looking at. But unless they draw into a board wipe, they are basically dead on arrival. I love that that entered. Also, they need an exiling board wipe, because if they kill all my creatures, Zulaport Cutthroat will drain them for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and make me gain 11. And Vorinclex makes it so that every time they tap something, it does not become untapped, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I don't know if I've ever gotten to flip Invasion Tree before, and man, I was not expecting to do it in my Thalia deck. This was fun. Yeah, those don't untap. We also just get to swing in and kill them after this, by the way. Because that doesn't gain them any life. And all of my stuff assigns its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. No, I wanted to attack! No, why would you do this to me? My joy! Nah, I'm kidding. There was nothing they could do. The only thing that they could do there was play a board wipe to just reset everything. And even that would really hurt them because of Zulaport Cutthroat, and I still had a board wipe of my own to maybe get them back. And I'd be able to replay Thalia, and I would lock them out of the game for an entire turn because they would have to tap out most of their mana to play the board wipe. The concession is the right decision there. Being able to flip Realmbreaker and get out all of the Elish Norns, Shieldred, and then your second Vorinclex is devastating. GG's opponent, you did pretty good though. On to the next. And that is that. That is the deck. That is the video. This deck's super fun. I really enjoy it. I think we won a total of 6-1, maybe 6-2 with this deck. I didn't include the losses because I know one of the losses was just straight up I got mana screwed. I kept a 2-land opening hand with an Esper Sentinel, and I never drew another land until I conceded because my opponent had like 5 lands to my 2, and I realized I don't stand much of a chance in a situation like that. Yeah, deck's super fun. Deck's super great. You do get to do some really silly stuff. If you are allowed to uninterrupted play a Realmbreaker, you will get out all your Praetors, as I'm sure you saw. If you are allowed to leave Thalia on the board into most decks, you will probably crush them. In terms of where this deck gets placed in the queue, because I know some people get curious about that, it's probably like an A-tier deck. I don't think it's all the way up in Hell queue. I think maybe the cards you play might force it up into Hell queue. I've been told that that can happen. But overall, I think this solid A-tier deck. I think you're going to play up against like your not quite Kennen decks. You're probably playing the Elish Norns of the world. You might run into an Atraxa or two. Something in about the A tier. Definitely not Hell Q tier though, which is pretty fun because I feel like this color combination is lacking some of its most powerful cards on Arena. Like, for example, we don't have Deathrite Shaman. As far as I know, I could be crazy. You know, we'll even search for it right now so that we can be, how do you spell Deathrite? Even if it was 2 words. Let's check for that too. Deathrite. I don't see a Deathrite Shaman, so we don't have it. Unfortunately for everyone involved. So we're missing some important cards like that on Arena that would really make this deck pop off and be powerful, but it's still really good. It still does its job. It's still just fun Abzan nonsense. If you made it this far in the video, you're great and I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that cool stuff that really helps out me and the channel. And above all else, I hope to catch you in the next one.